Guys, welcome back. We're ready for some Chinese Dota. We're
Hello.
drinking- Good day, sir.
Good day. I would not say who out of the two of us made the tea. You guys can make your own speculations about that. But welcome to yet another Beyond the Summer presentation. And today we're going to be casting a Supernova Cup. Vici Gaming versus Rattlesnake Gaming. We just saw IG dominate
Yoga
Ogaro
Oga
Ogara Yue. Ogara Yue.
Ogaru Yui.
And we got the wrong last names.
We've switched. Wait, this is my fault.
Yes. You made me sit here now.
Well, it's my fault and Jared's fault.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, today we're going to be watching Rattlesnake versus Vici Gaming, and for me personally, I'm watching this mostly to see the new rosters,
Yeah.
because this is the first tournament that's featuring all the new Chinese rosters, minus DK. Because since we don't really have time to talk about DK, because DK's not in this tournament, what is your thought on DK overall, in terms of the hype roster?
it's super hype. They're going to be, as far as hype and viewership goes, they're like the Navi of Asia now. They will bring in the money, but can they bring in the results is another question. It reminds me of when DK first got formed. They had that like super all-star roster, and everyone's like, this will be the best team in China in the world, and it wasn't.
It was pretty close. It
No,
went-
when they first had like Yaffets and stuff.
Oh yeah, that one.
That
one.
team, they didn't suck ass, but they were like third or fourth best.
Yeah. Well, I'm still not convinced about Ice Ice Ice. I'm not.
I'm not
but,
convinced about Mushi.
I feel like he's
As far as
ROTK in Malaysia, but you know how
well,
you know
they
how things
replaced
go.
ROTK with
Well,
ROTK.
Ice Ice Ice, yeah.
Yeah.
So well, we'll have that discussion for another day. But let's go into Jeff. Rishi Gaming on the Radiant side and Rattlesnake on the Dire, and Rattlesnake running hella global in a sense.
Yeah, the new Blood and Rattlesnake, Johnny. I don't know if you remember him. He was in Chain Stack.
Yes.
So he's actually a Malaysian player. For some reason, China's just like, we need some new talent to be brought over. So they bring in this guy from Malaysia. I imagine he had like some connections with the team, either some of the players or the management, and has found his way into China. He's like an 18-year-old Malaysian kid, and here he is playing for a legit gaming organization in China.
Yeah. Do you know anything about Ya, who is the other
No.
person?
From
So-
what Rain, who's the infamous Gosu Gamers editor, was telling me, is that it's actually a Singaporean player,
Okay.
Linksys.
Okay.
Who's played on he's stood in for Zenith and maybe Aeon at various points, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know any info. Apparently Kabu, even Kabu apparently isn't confirmed to have left the team, although it was reported that he did. Oh,
No in-game Dota sounds.
no Dota 2 sounds. BTS disband.
Let's try to fix that. Do you have any sketch links on?
Game
Can
Dota 2's now?
Can I turn this up? I mean, we see it. It's on here.
You might want to close that Pornhub link as well.
I know. That's why I was like, do you have any Pornhub link up? But I didn't say Pornhub, but you said it for me. So it's all good. All right, Vici Gaming's going to answer back with Visage and Spectre. Visage has been always like your first pick support for many, many reasons. And I think when he first came out, a lot of us is, why don't you go offensive trialing with this hero? Because he does dominate offensive trialing. I think the Chinese philosophy of picking up Visage early is basically when we have Visage, you're not going to offensive trialing us because it will be very difficult for you to fight a defensive trialing that consists of a Visage. And because you secure the Visage pick early, it allows your carry and your lane overall to be a little bit weaker as a result. So you can see that Spectre is generally not the best laner,
Yeah.
but you could actually pick Spectre quite early like this and not feel too worried about being punished because you have the Visage on the safe lane. So it's sort of a nice combo.
And he's really good in Trailing versus Trailing, but Visage is also benefits a lot from those levels. He kind of peaks around that level 7 mark. So
Right.
Going for a safe lane Trailing where you're not going to be contested and can get Visage some farm and levels in the jungle or just rather safely, and then you fight around that mid-game point around the 10 to 15 minute mark. So
It is very dependent on those pulls, so you have to get those
Yeah.
pulls going on. You cannot really miss too much on, let's say, missing a tunnel through on the higher camp if you're on the Radiant side. But Rattlesnake's going to answer back with Dragonite, which is a hero that's always been very, very stable. And of course, I really like Dragonite against even BKB carry. So far, we don't see any of that because of the Frost Dragon Breath. He's a great ganger, great team fight, just good around overall. Very weak laning stage, and the fact that Rattlesnake has picked it against a Vici Gaming who hasn't picked up their solo mid just yet could get super punished. And speaking of super, he's the new solo mid edition for Vici Gaming, which
it's weird.
How do you let go of CTY?
I'm just getting completely mindfucked right now. I look at Vici Gaming and I think CTY solo mid. Then I'm like, wait a second, they've got super. They've got ROTK. Like, this is just... I'm confused, Lumi.
I am confused
Like,
as well.
as, like, a Chinese Dota connoisseur, I'm suddenly like, I don't know what to say or expect from these teams and players.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's actually nice to have a... Because Chinese Dota traditionally has known to be a very stable... I guess since TI we had a little bit of roster change, but these roster change are still very solid. IG has been around for 3 years. DK has been around for like close to 1.5, almost 2 years. The old DK.
Yeah. Oh, they've been around for quite some
2
time.
years-ish.
Yeah. Oh, well, you mean like the current roster, or you
No,
just
no,
like,
the
like the organi-
Burning, MMY, QQQ, the
Yeah.
particular roster, super... That roster has been around for 2 years. And
Well,
suddenly,
since TI2.
right.
No, because they only got those players after TI2, so it hasn't actually been around that long.
Okay, so that lineup hasn't been too long.
Yeah.
LGD has been around for a bit as well.
TI2 DK was the Long DD
Right.
team. Long DD Zippo support
Yes,
duo,
that was a
which
lineup that didn't go too
a bit
far.
underwhelming, to
But
say the least.
I think all things considered, as a big generalization, is that Chinese rosters are very stable, and now the first tournament that we see is all these.
The one thing when there is Chinese shuffles, it's like big. It's
Right.
happening everywhere. It's like crazy
Well, it's-
all over the place.
It's
Just
big
everything
because
changes.
there's only one shuffle.
Yeah.
Whereas a Western scene, it's
It's 'cause-
musical chairs in a sense.
And Western teams will just happen whenever teams feel like it, but
Right.
China, it's like you have
All
a contract,
contracts, yeah.
you honor that contract.
Well, looks like Vici Gaming has picked up Elder
I like
Titan
this.
as whatever
Nice.
they're going to be picking, selecting in terms of lanes. Because so far we see a Visage Spectre Nyx Assassin to be what I imagine a tri lane. Your Elder Titan in a 1v1 against Dragonite mid wouldn't be too bad. And then whatever your off lane. But Elder Titan is a hero that, have you seen it quite a bit in MLG? I remember watching one game where Elder Titan support was sending massive amount of spirits, migrating it to the mid lane as a harassment tool.
Yeah, it was micro mid lane. Like it was like a hard support Elder Time where he'd just keep harassing mid and would just keep stacking neutrals for the solo mid Shadow Fiend. But generally, this hero was used a lot in Chinese Dota 1
Yes.
as an off lane solo or sometimes a solo mid.
Yeah, and for that reason, I'm actually very excited to see it because this is actually the first time that we see Chinese teams use Elder Titan. And again, to reiterate what you said, they use it very much so.
I mean, as much as people will say we're Chinese fanboys, it was the Chinese who like mastered and figured out this hero. Kind of like how there's certain heroes that, like Western teams figure out how to use Wisp.
Yeah.
Elder Titan was because the Western team switched over to Dota earlier. The Western teams don't actually know how this hero is. Well, not that they don't know how to use it; it's that they've never played it consistently at in high level competitive Dota. The Chinese teams have been using this hero for years in Dota 1.
Yeah. Although the hero has been receiving some sort of changes, obviously with the spirit being able to micro, and now we do see Lone Druid being picked up, and this is something I do want to talk about, the natural order of Elder Titan.
Yes.
What it does is it reduces your base armor by a percentage amount, and then it also reduce your either increase your own magical damage output or reduce your magical resistance. Obviously, it's the same side of the coin. So what that means, particularly for the armor part, is against Lone Druid and his true form, who has a crap ton of armor, Elder Titan's natural order aura will be able to remove a ton of armor from Lone Druid. Now, conversely, you won't be able to remove too much from Dragonite because most of the armor is coming from the Dragonite passive. Natural order removes armor from your base stats and not from your plus stats. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning it.
Just
so
for people that are following at home. So it's going to be very effective against Lone Druid and not so much effective against DK. Just for the distinction for those guys at home. Okay.
Audio prompt.
What's an audio prompt?
It'll pop up.
Boop, boop.
It's like when Grant was streaming and there was a "This is not a genuine version of Windows" prompt.
Ah.
Yeah, we got sound. I guess we need
How,
to.
how do you throw Grant under the bus like that?
It's easy.
It's easy.
It's too. That was a cheap shot. It was like my TPL shot on Reddit. I was like, I feel bad. That was just too easy.
All right,
Gonna
so
be classier.
Vici Gaming, we have ROTK going to be going up top here on the Elder Titan. On the mid lane here, obviously, Super going to be playing Kunkka, which we haven't really talked about as the last selection. Fenron's going to be playing Visage on the bot lane. Tutu is going to be your Spectre carry player. And last but not least, FY playing your support Nyx Assassin. And before we introduce Rattlesnake, how insane is this AoE team fight? You get clapped, you're going to get Torrented, you're going to get Earth Splitter, and you're going to get Bolt. Because I mean, the setup is amazing, and the long range of X as well as Elder Titan Spirit is also very, very scary to deal
I mean,
against.
you're gonna have to change your announcer. I can hear that.
Oh,
As much as you may enjoy your whatever announcer you're using,
yo,
Bastion.
cannot hate on the Bastion. I guess I should change away from my
I'm okay with the Tempest.
Tempest Wing is legit.
Yeah, we can keep Tempest.
That's a TPO.
Yeah.
Is that a
Ooh.
TPL thing? I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
we're
a
cool with
TPL.
that.
Yeah, okay, Tempest.
I don't know.
Dota Audio Max. Somebody took out the guys. There's spells going on. Don't you want to see flame breaths?
Let's say, what's DK using? If DK's just flame breathing nothing. Oh no, he hit Elder Titan. This is, I think ROTK played a decent amount of off-lane Elder Titan back in Dota 1. He was one of the players I actually remember watching. A few of
This
his
hero
replays
is very
with.
difficult to feed with.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he's tanky.
It's ROTK.
ROTK will find a way.
There's 4 new heroes added to Dota 2, the CM mode. 4 new heroes for ROTK to feed with.
Well, I actually wanna say something about ROTK, especially against the Dragonite, not on the mid lane, against the Wisp. ROTK, once he drops a Spirit on a creep wave like that, he's actually sustaining a lot of harass. But once he drops the Astro on a creep wave, you can see that he actually is hitting back by quite a bit. He's losing the damage bonus. But if you drop it on 2 heroes as well as 4 creeps, you're hitting for over 85 damage. And against the Wisp who has 0 armor, you're punishing him for quite a bit. And you can see that he's nuking the DK and sending it to chase after the Wisp. It's a ton of harassment, and that's why you could have a off-lane Elder Titan like this.
Yeah, it also can be used for scouting, so you know when and where those ganks are coming in from. So it's a very nice little tool that you can use. We do have Lone Druid mid against the Kunkka, which will be interesting to see how he matches up. He's going to sustain a lot of harass from this Tidebringer, and Kunkka can actually last it okay even against the Lone Druid because of that. So I feel this is not going to be the easiest lane for Johnny. He's probably going to need some very fast Trinkle boots.
Yeah, at the same time, he is going to have the bear advantage in terms of scouting runes as well as harassing in the lane. So it's kind of a wash-up. I think Super, to me, is one of the best solo mid players in China, so I'm going to give him the lane advantage simply because of that. And meanwhile, on the bot lane, it's going to be a very, very standard free farming lane here for 2-2, because I really don't think our Nature's Prophet is going to do too much in terms of harassing. He is doing a fairly decent job in terms of blocking camps, though, so that is harassment in itself. Not to 2-2, but to the support players. You talked about it's very important for Vici to hit level 7 in a good time. He's not going to do that because of the good harassment from Ya.
Yeah, this is a well-played offlane Nature's Prophet. He's going to keep on summoning those trees and just look to block that whenever possible. And so far, that neutral pool has not summoned once. You don't even have to block it off using Observer Wards, which is where Nature's Prophet makes such a powerful offlane hero. ROTK, as far as an offlane, he's doing just fine because of the nature of this dual lane. They can't zone him out. Wisp not an aggressive enough support early on. And Chen spending time in the jungle, just getting farm and levels. But I think Rattlesnake are okay with this setup here. They'll get Chen probably a fast level 5, level 6, get a couple creeps, and then go for a smoke gank and try push a tower.
Yep. RTK, I wonder what his first item of choice is. The way that he's playing this lane, maybe Soul Ring seems to be a good item.
Well, you need the boots first. I feel like as an offlane solo like an Elder Titan, you just rush boots.
Well, he does have
or
600,
Magic Stick.
600 gold right now. He's not spending it on either bottle or boots, so I wonder what exactly he's saving it for. I can't imagine it's something like a Ring of Health, or maybe he's just waiting for the courier. Speaking of courier, it's bottle crawling on the mid lane. There's a Quelling Blade up on Kunkka, which is something that we don't see too often or at all, because you imagine Kunkka with the Tidebringer plus damage should have a very easy time. Back in the bot lane, looks like they're doing a little bit of dive against Ya, trying to TP out of there, and no, looks like the Side Blades, or not Side Blades, but the Desolate Blades of 2-2 is going to get the first blood. So very nicely done here for the Vici Gaming tri lane. And because of the Nature's Prophet being dead, that gave a lot of experience to the 2 supports who's been somewhat starved, not being able to do the pulls.
Yeah, really nice game coming out there. That's going to help out this trialing quite a lot here. Inspector even getting the kill is going to accelerate his farm. He's already got phase boots at 3.5 minutes, and it's going to be tough to sort of shut him down and deal with him because he can start coming to fights early. This is where teams have realized that Spectre's a lot more viable now because you don't have to rush that Radiance. You go phase drums, and then you just start contributing a lot to fights, and then you can go for either the Radiance or even a Yasha, a Manta style build, a Diffusal. There's so many more cost-effective early game builds you can go on him.
Yeah, we saw earlier in today IG How. I'm not used to saying that. IG How has he's gone for phase, he's gone for a Vid booster and a Diffusal Blade, and it was just basically kind of just meleeing down everybody he see with Hans and things of that nature. Back in the bot lane, looks like they're going to make yet another dive against Ya and that phase boot, doing yet more work. Nyx Assassin, be able to set things up with Impale. And not only are they going to get the kill, it looks like they're going to transition a little bit of tower push as well. I think this tier 1 tower is either going to die or sustain a ton of damage. Back on top lane, double damage is going to get secured by Super. And interestingly, we do have Elder Titan picking up the bottle as just a way to sustain his mana. It looks like we're going to have a Tether Stun, a Dragon Breath, and a Dragon Tail going on top of ROTK. He's very, very tanky, got the self. He's trying to drop all of his stuns. He's going to go down as a result. And looks like the Dire is also going to transition to a 4-man push. Suddenly this game just got very aggressive. Back in the bot lane, looks like Finra is dropping low to the tower, but nobody really dying.
Yeah, both teams will get a fast tier 1 tower, it looks like, in their safe lane. Rattlesnake with the much stronger pushing power with the Nature's Prophet plus Chen. They've got the DK level 6, but once he gets it, towers could go down pretty fast. Elder Titan's going to TP back top, towers will be down. So this is just to slow down a push that could go for a tier 2 tower. They could even try to get this tier 2 fast. Meanwhile, Vici Gaming, they've done damage to the bottom tier 1.
Yeah, they're not really as good as pushing, like you said. I mean, Nyx Assassin as well as Visage without birds really aren't going to give you that push, but... And also, more importantly, they're losing a ton of levels because they're trying to make that push. Teleportation comes in. That's a bad TP. There's going to be Impale. Where's the slow to follow through? There's nothing. Dragonite, very, very tanky hero. They're not going to make that dive. There's more TPs coming in. Vici Gaming will back off. So, Rattlesnake doing okay so far. Actually taking advantage of the good push up top. Mid lane, how's that one going for us?
Well, I feel Kunk has forced the lone druid to go for the fast tranquil boot. So, I think it's not going to be too big of a problem for him, as hopefully the Dota 2 audio sounds a bit like... Be free to let us know in chat, guys, if there are any technical problems as far as sound goes, the balance of audio, but...
I'm sure people will let us know.
Yeah, people are nice and vocal when it comes to that. They're so friendly, letting us know when there's stuff wrong with the stream. I love our chat. But mid lane, I feel it's a bit of a wash. Looking at CS, 34 CS on Kunkka to 30 on Lone Druid. Based on the fast phase boots and quelling blade build, I'd actually expect Kunkka to be at least on par or even ahead, which he is.
Yeah, and because of Tidebringer's definitely pushing lane now, to secure himself Illusion Rune up on the top. The thing for me is that Kunkka's going to have a very, very good game, because you know the RTK is not going to have the excellent game up top being faced against a Trial lane just getting killed. So we're going to see Super maybe even taking up X early. Yeah, he is going to take up X early right now before even taking another point in Torrent. It's basically allow you to set up your spells and more importantly your ally spells for basically quick kills.
Ooh, bottom tier 1's going to actually get denied here. So Vici Gaming spent a lot of... And they spent so much time there trying to get it. There's actually a rotation from behind, but they come in a bit too late. They wanted to get that tower. And meanwhile, top lane, ROTK is just going to solo kill Nature's Prophet. So, well done by ROTK, man.
Yeah, there was a Haunt from 2-2 that helped, and the Haunt also reality in on the bot instantly. Be careful about using Haunt and reality very early in the beginning. Your illusion has 400 movement speed, and generally early game like this, especially against supports that don't have boots, you could chase them down very easily without even needing to reality in. But with that said, they did get the kill up top. Meanwhile, though, I think ROTK getting that kill is a very, very big thing for him because he's getting a ton of levels. So far, what is his skill build? It's also very interesting. He hasn't skilled a point yet either.
This is the setup type Elder Titan. He's actually going to get ganked here at the top lane. There's a Prophet TP, and he's got no Tengus to get out of this Sprout, and there is no escape for him. The Treants surround, not even really needed or mattered. There's an Ensnare as well from the Chen. They get another kill on ROTK, but he's soaking up a lot of time with the enemies. I feel like these deaths, they're not really that costly for his team. He's getting XP, he's getting farming. He's level 7 as an offlane hero and is forcing 4 heroes to be there.
Back in mid lane, X-Torrent's going to start out. The Bolt's going to follow through as well. Where's the Impale? They're going to chain on this perfectly. Impale to follow through. Here comes the Soul Assumption as well. The tanky Lone Druid's going to go down. All thanks to that level 2 X being selected at level 7. This build is not exactly standard, but extremely, extremely effective. And of course, back on the top lane here, we do see ROTK being back alive, and then now using the Astral Spirit to defending that push. So again, Vici Gaming playing rather aggressively early on, and they're going to get or at least try to get a tier 1 tower. But here comes a Dragonite. Torrent's not going to land on anybody. Deny not going to come through, and they will retreat safely. Icy's looking for the Dragon Tail, not going to go for it though. He didn't have range for him just yet.
Yeah, he had the haste room, but you have to get in melee range, which means he's very likely to get stunned up by Nyx Assassin or just at least put himself in a bad position. But we'll see him now with the ultimate up, but this is a safe lane DK, and we're not really seeing the Wisp as well as DK really fit into this lineup just yet. No relocate gags. DK hasn't been... Well, he's been pushing just the tier 1. He's going to go on Super here at the mid lane. Super knows he's in a bit of trouble. Drops just a Torrent. Doesn't have ultimate. Then there's a Spectre Morte in, but it's too late. Yeah, Spectre may go down as well here. This is not the place where 2-2 wants to be. He kind of is a bit in over his head as he's forced back at the mid lane.
Yeah, this is the second Hana I've seen that where he used a Hana and immediately reality in. I think generally the chaos, especially early game, the chaos of having 4 or 5 illusions in the middle of team fights is probably even more effective. ROTK making the rotation to the mid lane, defending that one. You also see the Spectral Dagger coming in, just slowing down that push. I mean, I think Wisp not seeing too many relocate ganks, that's definitely a fair thing to say, but definitely in lane, he's been part of every single kill where He's using the tether as a stun as well as a movement speed increase to allow whether the Dragon Knight or the Prophet to go in to get that kill on RTK. So I feel like he has been fairly active, but again, there has been no relocate gank yet. I imagine maybe they're saving it to use it defensively.
Yeah.
Maybe against a Spectre Haunt.
The one thing with the Spectre Haunt, I don't know if you know the change, but you can actually you can relocate in
and
immediately.
still remain on the.
Yeah, the illusions don't disappear now.
Okay.
Like it used to be the case where as soon as you reality in, you lose all your illusions. But now the new change, which was a nice buff to Spectre, is you still keep all 5 of your illusions attacking.
Okay.
Except the one you replace, so there's 4 illusions and then the one you replace.
Okay, that's a very important point. So my mistake for calling him out. Meanwhile, we have a smoke gang coming out here from Rattlesnake. Are they thinking about going to the Roshan pit? They definitely have the damage and the tank to go for it. No, they want to actually go for a gank. Spectre is your prime target. Who got the first blood in the early game? She's got the drum and face, and she's very tanky. 1,000 HP. Keep in mind that her dispersion also gives her a little bit more tank ability as well. Let's see if they're going to make that successful gank.
Nyx is here as well, which is a good position for him to be in to protect the Spectre, and down coming from the bottom lane is going to be Visage as well. They need Kunkka here if they want to take this fight, and he's got a TP, so can come to this if needed.
Yeah, we'd also see Visage rotating already. You can see that FY breaking the smoke a little bit and walking in.
I don't think he spotted them now. They both spotted each other.
Yeah, Dragon Form is going to get popped, and they're going to make that dive. Not really sure whether they can make the dive. Here comes Kunkka. X-Torn available. Oh, big cleave coming in. Icy's going to drop the stun. Here comes the Chanku. Han's going to go on. That's going to disrupt the team. But Drum's going to get popped. They're going to go on Luo. Luo dropping low. Hanavgar comes in. Luo getting torned up, and one more hit's going to do it. The mech's going to get dropped as well. Finally, it's going to die. Huge ball's going to come in. That's going to hit onto Teta trying to be used defensively. Is he going to relocate home? No. They want to keep on fighting. Impel's going to hit onto. We do have Lone Tree get dropped down as well. Icy dropping low. Huge Earth Splitter. My god, that's 30% in terms of slow as well as damage output, and Sagam's going to get melt as well. That is a 4-for-1 trade, and the Chen army being dropped down. I'm going to call it a 5-for-1 because Chen army, huge part in terms of early game DPS and tanky as well. ROTK, I mean, you don't expect the stun as well as the Earth Splitter both hitting a single team fight, but when it does, this is what happens. 4-1.
Every AoE stun from Vici Gaming was hitting multiple heroes. Nyx Assassin Impales hit 2-3 heroes. You had Kunkka Torrent landing as well as the boat hitting multiple heroes. They didn't even really have a direct stun to set things up. They just landed these sort of skill shot stuns, and they just tore Rattlesnake apart in that fight. Despite Rattlesnake having this good 5-man lineup, they just got a Chen mech, so they had mech plus Hand of God, and they didn't stand a chance that fight.
Yeah, I think when you run a lineup where you consist of Chen and Wisp as your support, your best early game ganking tool is the element of surprise and then bursting down. Because what does Wisp give you in an extended team fight, especially when you don't have any points in the overcharge? You have to relocate in, you have to use the Wisp spirits, and then burst a hero down and then get out of there. Because in a sustained team fight, especially in a very choke spot like this, where Torrent and Earth Splitter and Echo Stomp are the kings of those kind of small scale engagements, they just got wrecked. And of course, you got to keep in mind that Earth Splitter is a 35% HP removal in all levels. Really good against strength heroes like Dragon Knight and Lone Druid. So, well, Lone Druid not strength hero, but his HP pool might as well be one. So, yeah, being hit by all these massive AoE in that small choke is really, really punishing to Rattlesnake.
And now, these levels Elder Titans are getting is going to help him so much in these fights. He can start getting points in his aura. He's got just 3 in the Stomp here and with 1 point in the natural order, but this is just going to be a very scary Elder Titan presence in any team fight.
Yeah, keep in mind that it will amplify basically everything that Vici's Gaming's got. Your Tidebringer, your Torrent, anything on top of that, and it's going to hurt, especially when your supports are very, very squishy. Like you said, we saw Hand of God and Mech go off in that team fight, and they still melted. Not looking good for Rattlesnake, and it looks like Kunkka with the Invis Ring looking for some blood.
I think the great thing about how this game's looking for Vici Gaming is they're not going to even have to go for a Radiant on Spectre. I think Spectre is better off going for like a Manta style type build, just some more balanced, somewhat tanky with some movement speed kind of item. It's not really essential that he gets a Radiance. Radiance's burn damage isn't going to be all that great against these tanky strength heroes.
Middle lane X-Torrent's going to drop off. The Han's going to come in as well. They can focus on Icy. Icy drop down to half and 0 instantly. And they're going to be on full retreat. 2-2 coming in against Sagam. Down to about half HP is him. Trying to tether away for a little bit of extra movement speed. He is barely going to make it out. The Torrent not going to hit as well, but they're going to chase deeper on this way. Lure all the top. Stomp onto 2. Impale onto 2. Torrent onto 2. And Rattlesnake melts yet once again.
Yeah, and Spectre was spending that time also chasing the Wisp at bottom lane. 4 heroes down. Vici Gaming take a very decisive lead here in game number 1 of this best of 3. This is the SinaCup, and right now Vici Gaming, the new lineup are Vici Gaming ROTK. Vici Gaming Super. This is This is not what I'd expect. I mean, this team kind of came up as a team of pub stars when they had those sort of boy bandish photos led by CTY, the pub star, and now they've got big names. Now they've got veteran ROTK, Super, one of the best solo mids in China, and he was considered the best back in sort of 2011. And they're playing on a team like Vici Gaming, and, well, it's weird to see, but it's working for him.
Yeah, I think Super definitely was the best solo mid for Chinese teams in general back in TI3. So, and of course, 2-2 has been playing fairly aggressively, and that's what you need to do as a Spectre. I mean, you saw him hunt and running into like 3 or 4 and still making it out alive. That's the power of Spectre. And now she's going to be returning back to the bot lane and keep on farming. But to me, ROTK is definitely, for this game, carrying the team because his Echo Stomps has been on top of basically 2 or 3 heroes every single time. And when you land Earth Splitter on 2 heroes, or 2 or plus heroes, you're winning a team fight, no matter what. Here we go. Nyx Assassin gank. Luo trying to drop some wards. Well, he does get the ward off, but he's going to die as a result. And if Vici Gaming is aware of that, maybe Johnny a little bit trouble as well. Drum's going to get activated. Horn's not going to hit, but no, the Stomp is barely going to hit, and they should be able to bring him down.
I'll even get the Wisp here. Wisp going to get caught by an Impel. DK's standing around way too close to this fight. He needs to just get the hell out of there. 3 more heroes take a fall, and Vici Gaming just have such great game sense. They don't even have a ward there. They just kind of can tell where their enemies are going to be farming. Elder Titan was, when he was top rune, he sent a spirit into the jungle, scattered out there was no one jungling, so he's like, well, Lone Druid's not in lane, he's not jungling, he's probably at Ancient. So Nyx Assassin goes there, they gank him out. They're reading Rattlesnake really well.
Yeah. I just want to kind of gush a little bit more on Elder Titan as a hero. Look at what he's doing for the team 4, 2, and 5 as an offlaner, and look at what items he's got. He might as well be on basic boots, bottle, and a magic stick because he is purely as an item independent hero. I'll talk about that later as we see a kill up top. Icy trying to run away. You're not going to be running away as we have Mana Bird. Where's the Impale? Just said no Impale. Finally the Impale comes through, and the huge desolate damage, pair damage output from 2-2 is going to bring him down. So while 2 more kills go in the pocket of the Spectre. Luo trying to get an army, but I think he's detected going this way because of this particular reward. GG comes out here from Rattlesnake. They know they can't be down by 13 kill against a Spectre because the dangerous part hasn't even really started just yet.
That was just really impressive by Vici Gaming, and a great showing of the true potential of Elder Titan. This is the first time in a competitive Dota game I feel we've seen Elder Titan. We've seen him in a number of games in sort of Starlight and these other tournaments. Some games where he's been used in sort of different support roles, or I don't think we've seen him as an offlaner too much, but this is Elder Titan at his peak, at its finest, and it was just a real treat to see.
Yeah, before we kind of end this game and go to closing statement, I think really the reason why he was able to have a very, very powerful start was because of the weak lane that you throw against him. I think Elder Titan is a very level-dependent hero, and when you have a weak laner like Wisp and DK and a Jungle Chen that's not going to really gank early, Elder Titan gets a free level 3 and that's it.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to Ben just yesterday with MLG Casting. I'm like, I think Elder Titan is by far of the 4 new heroes the most legit.
I think Troll Warlords. I mean, have you seen Kaipi lately?
Have they been? I've seen him do a few try lanes here and there.
They use Troll like all day.
Okay. So Troll Road to TI4 with Troll Warlord?
Yeah, there you go.
Ben thought Centaur was the worst. Was the best. And I'm like, dude, Centaur's...
Ben is of an older era. Let's just put it that way.
Back when you did dual lanes only, and CM Centaur was like the strongest combo in the game.
Well, we'll see if there's going to be
the least picked new hero out there.
We'll see if there's going to be a Centaur pickup for Vici Gaming versus Rattlesnake in Game 2. But that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. And of course, he is God, and I'm Luminous. Can we get those name tags up one more time?
Just so those? People like follow us on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Not like
just hit it. Just hit it. Yeah, just hit it.
Just hit that follow button.
There you go.
I'm David Luminous Zhang Merlini, and that's David
Parker.
LD Gods Parker.
There you go.
We're going to go to a quick break.